Hello, I'm Gabby Martin, and I'm reading from Sabrina Urraca's 2017 novel, Girl Prodigies. This is a translation from the Spanish, and I am seeking a publisher for the English translation. This is a semi-autobiographical novel that's told in fragments, and each chapter revisits a memory from a different stage in the narrator's life and sort of pieces together a collage of her identity and also of desire and how desire is experienced or received at different points in one's life. It's also extremely funny. There are repeated appearances from Punky Brewster and Nadia Comaneci. There's an incompetent sexologist. There's a ghost or two. And the book starts with the narrator going to watch a birth. And that's where I'll start my reading. I'll read a couple parts from the first few pages. So here we go. This is chapter 1, partum. It all starts when I'm invited to a birth. A woman I hardly know is letting me watch her bring her second daughter into the world. I think we should all witness a birth. I want to write an article about it, debunk those fantasies about sterile births where a radiant mother holds a perfect round baby in her arms. I'm 31 years old, never given birth. Don't know if I will, but I still want to see it happen. I was born under capitalism. I want to have it all, see it all, live it all. Can't miss a thing. The woman about to give birth lives in a town near the valley. It's been 2 months since I moved out to the countryside. I'm squatting in a 100-year-old rundown farmhouse in southern Spain. I came to the countryside because I spent long stretches of time here when I was little. I saw myself at 6 years old in dirt-covered pajamas, talking to myself, dressing up feral cats in dolls' clothes, in a state of peaceful introspection, and I wanted to experience that again. I hold out hope that a return to my origins will save me, will return me to myself. The day I received the message, sinus contractions are starting. See you soon. Besos. I changed my outfit 3 times before heading out. While I put on and take off different shirts in my mirrorless house, I feel like a fool, but at the same time, I can't quell the quinceañera-like euphoria of getting ready for a party that will change my life. I climb the steep slope that leads to the highway. When I reach the top, beads of sweat are running down the sides of my body. There's a sweat stain in the middle of my shirt, and I try to read in its shape some sign, a divination of what I'm about to see. When I started getting my period, I would try to predict some meaningful sign in the bloodstain on the pad, like someone who reads coffee dregs. The sweat stain doesn't tell me anything. It just turns cold and makes me shiver. I have a spare shirt in my backpack, but I can't change here, on the shoulder of the road in view of passing cars and groups of hikers coming down from the Buddhist retreat center further up. For the first time in the months I've been here, I see that the door to the chapel next to the highway is open. The Chapel of the Eternal Father is an unassuming, humble structure that draws 0 tourists, despite my insistence on telling any visitor I meet that it's something special. It contains one of only 3 Catholic figures in the world representing God himself. It's a tiny white building with mismatched chairs and an altar made of conglomerate wood. God stands upon it with a polyphemus triangle on his forehead and a set of scales in his hand. I take my shirt off with my back to the figure and zip open my bag. Suddenly, in my hunger to experience powerful spiritual moments, I let my shirt fall to the ground and I approach the figure through the central aisle. I stay still like that for a while, tits out, staring into the eye in the middle of the triangle. The phrase, "life is a gift," pops into my head. My mind's so all over the place, so eager for each moment to be solemn and pivotal, that it comes up with things a señora who just came out of the sea after a swim, and then had a beer on the boardwalk, and then closed her eyes, and then sighed contentedly, might say. I hitch a ride to the house. The man from town who picks me up asks where I'm going. To a birth, I tell him. He asks me if it's a cow birth. I tell him no. We spend the rest of the ride in silence. Thank you for listening.